Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Mayday Media. Got a couple more articles for you. One is about a 24-hour stock market beer station, so you can pick your own brew at the cheapest price. I don't drink a whole lot of beer anymore, but it's still kind of interesting. I can see something like this in a big city maybe working. Second news we're going to do is on the Steam machine. Pro orders might go live. Some people busted some stuff out. What they're trying to do is stop people from buying up all these Steam machines and then scalping them, selling them for, $1,200, and nobody's got a chance to do it. And they caught the code being installed to do it, so we'll go over that story. But first, like and subscribe, comment, help me out a little bit here. In particular, vibrant nightlife precinct of Shenzhen in China, the main attraction may be a massive landlocked cruise ship that's been turned into hotels, bars, and restaurants. But in its shadow is an equally bizarre but less obvious novelty, a round structure that resembles a public restroom from far, but on close inspection it is a 24-hour self-service beer stop where each tag's price changes based on demand. It's like playing the markets, but your gains come in a giant plastic cup and your skill at pouring your brew of choice. The novelty bar is surrounded by a few deck chairs and one person on hand to offer technical and pouring help more than anything. It's the work of the brewery company, a company funded more than a century ago by German and British merchants. Well, seeing go widespread across China's mainland these days, this mode of self-service street brewery has become a hit for pretty obvious reasons. Now, when it comes to pouring, you got to tip the cup to an angle. It makes it weigh a lot less head. You got to get it real close to the tap too. The first 360-degree smart beer column described as following kind of open in Shanghai Providence last year, a circular infrastructure featuring 10 or so taps of different kinds of Shingo whatever beer, low alcohol fruit, intense lighter drinks, to stronger dark ales and IPAs, where a digital screen displays price changes. I didn't think about whiskey or anything. They probably wouldn't put that in there though. That said, the price structure is a little more gimmicky than functional. It updates every 10 minutes. Dynamic pricing. There's that shit again. Particularly since the savings made, brick and mortar, okay, here we go. Particularly since savings made in service staff costs in brick and mortar bar space, not to mention the affordability of buying booze here in China's RBM currency, aren't that far off grabbing a can or a bottle from a nearby convenience store. And that is going to make that cheaper. Who's going to buy all this stuff though? Then there's also the payment system. It can be tricky for foreigners to navigate. Basically, the idea is to choose your beer, scan its adjacent QR code, which is ideally takes you to your browser to confirm purchase. And I admit that while on this trip I managed to master the QR-based Alipay link to my bank account, which made daily life immeasurably easier, it is a primary payment avenue. I got a little frustrated trying to access the station and instead used my camera, which opened Google Chrome on my phone. Even if you have an efficient VPN, that lets you any Google apps in China. It's still pretty much hit and miss, so without wanting to seem like a dumb tourist, I forgot I could scan with Alipay. Okay. However, I didn't stand back and watch experts, or at least someone who looked like they'd earned a beer after a long cycle. After some help scanning the QR code, a cup holder next to the tab released a rather larger plastic container for you to then test your beer pouring skills. So you also get a lid and a walk and sip as your style. A lid for a beer. I guess the cup's plastic. It looks to be plastic. As long as it's like a styrofoam insulated type of thing, a paper plastic or whatever that's called. It's by no means a new concept. 2024 space sports nations attached to the Taipei's baseball stadium opened a similar beer stock exchange bar. The drink exchange in Miami, Florida has been operating even longer. Again, both venues and others around the globe operate on a system of price fluctuation based on demand. Based on demand. Now, if you can get it for cheap and catch the right time, catch the right deal. Unfortunately, I can't buy a 12-pack. At a good deal, I can just buy one beer. And you know what happens when you start mixing beers? It's headache city. There's what the big attraction is. Alright, here it is, guys. Steam Machine pre-orders might go live soon as reservation systems leaks. A new leak. Valve might be taking Steam Machine reservations to avoid another chaotic Steam controller launch, which was flooded by scalpers. A new leak might have revealed that Valve is going to be taking Steam Machine pre-orders soon. Players have discovered code in Steam's database that might point toward the PC console having a reservation system to stop scalpers. Steam Machine reservations might be announced soon. When the Steam controllers sold out in 30 minutes, one of the major complaints players had was that Valve should have done pre-orders before its release. The company appeared to listen, and they quickly launched a new reservation system that allowed players to join a waiting list for restock. However, the new leak might have just revealed that Steam will not only take pre-orders before its release date, but that reservations could be announced soon. Eagle-eyed players made the discovery when they found mentions of Steam Machine in the reservation system's code. Interestingly, the pre-order system specifically lists 4 Steam Machine SKUs in the back end. The leak was first noted by the R Steam Machine subreddit. Specifically, there are references to 4 Steam Machine packages, 2 frame packages, and the rest controller and deck packages. There they are, references to Steam Machine and the reservation. I think it was right here, wasn't it? Isn't that where it was? This is interesting because it appears that Valve is going to be using the new reservation system for all its hardware moving forward. For example, the string of code also mentions Steam Deck, which has been sold out for months. Following a leak, this led many players to speculate that Steam Machine pre-orders could also go live soon. However, this could just be Valve preparing for a future date for different packages. So the 4 packages are going to be what, all of them combined? No, wait. I guess that would be one package. Probably a package with just the Steam and that one. Then probably the separate packages. I don't know. Or would be the 4 packages out of all that. The other major reveal in the leak that Steam Machine could be sold in 4 different bundles. The reservation is specifically 4 Steam Machine packages, given that Valve has already announced 2 versions of Steam Machine. Players are speculating as to what the SKUs could be. Okay, so 2 of them are the 512 and the 2 terabyte version. What are the other packages? I can only assume it has to do the other packages that with a controller, and then maybe the other packages, all of them together for a little bit of a discount maybe. Here's a list of bundles Steam Machine could potentially be sold. 512 with the Steam controller, 512 gigabyte without controller, 2 terabyte with Steam, 2 terabyte without controller. So I guess this is the ones they're looking at. Okay, now this is of course pure speculation. The reservation system only mentions 4 packages but doesn't specify each one. However, since Valve has previously mentioned different memory irritations of the console, players are theorizing that they could bundle it with a Steam controller. Well, yeah, that'd be my first obvious pick. Pre-orders could work. With Steam Machine reservations already live, we might have a good idea of how Steam Machine's release might also be handled. Instead of a typical launch where people are allowed to purchase a console as soon as the store packages go live, they would enter a line queue. Here's how the Steam Machine pre-order could work based on the controller reservations. Will be limited to 1 Steam Machine per user. Once you receive an order email, you have 3 days to make your purchase on Steam. So once you get the order in for you had those days, your account must be in good standing on Steam. You must have made a purchase on Steam prior to April 27, 2020. So if you haven't made a purchase prior to that, one of the major issues with the Steam controller launch is that the scalpers were able to purchase 2 controllers per order with new accounts. As a result, some resellers ended up being able to buy as many as 8 Steam controllers to flip on auction sites. A reservation system would largely solve the issue. That much anticipated console, specifically Valve, would be able to confirm each order more closely. Send separate email, account name, Steam controller. Lastly, if Valve does take reservations, it also means that the console won't ship right away. Instead, players will get put on a waiting queue. If they are selected, they will be able to purchase the console and have it shipped when valve is ready. Wow. On a waiting queue. Crazy. Here's something. These are cotton candy machines. Are totally automatic. They're a little vending machine. If you've got money and you're wanting to get into something on the side, I would take a look at that. I think that would do really well, even in a little small town. Okay. Anyway, thank you for your time. Hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment. Thank you.